Now, there are some good options for the Diamondbacks, and some of these options, sincerely, are kind of flying under the radar, and that's why we have Jesse Friedman here to tell us about who some of these guys available might be to improve this team. And, of course, pitching is our primary focus, as it should be for the Diamondbacks.
Yeah, we've got a name here that pretty under the radar. There's been some chatter about this guy in the PHNX D-backs Discord. So if you know, you might have already heard this name. If you're a diehard. But yeah, our first target we're going to talk about today is right-handed pitcher Tarik Skubal of the Detroit Tigers. Skubal, if we look at his numbers for the season, he has made 4 starts. He has been hurt for the majority of the season, but he recently returned. And he has a 3.71 ERA in those 4 starts. It's 17 innings, so the sample size is very, very small. But he has a 0.88 whip, 12.2 Ks per 9, 1.6 walks per 9. He has a 1.28 FIP in those 17 innings, which is utterly ridiculous. A name that people might not be too familiar with came up with the Detroit Tigers a few years ago. He is actually an Arizona native from Kingman, Arizona, the illustrious Kingman, Arizona.
Kingman, baby, let's go.
Got
one hell of an in and out there.
There you go. That's
not
it.
Wrong.
That's the only thing. One of my older siblings in high school faced Tarik Skubal. Actually,
Whoa.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure he
thought
struck
his name
out,
was Tarik, and I was very confused when I saw pictures of him.
Yeah, Tarik.
Tarik makes more sense.
I believe it is Tarik.
Oh, I would hate it if it was Derek spelled like that. I would be furious, just absolutely furious. All right, let's look at some of his pros and cons and why he might be pretty good look for the Diamondbacks here. Affordable, obviously, due to his contract and a clear upgrade. But it's the controllable part that I think is good for any trade target for the Arizona Diamondbacks at this point, because I feel like they should be building potentially more towards the future and not just a short-term end game of winning a championship this season, which still isn't a guarantee when you make a trade for a guy like this.
Yeah, he's under control for 3 more seasons after this one, 2024, 2025, 2026. So I think that's the biggest thing here for the Diamondbacks is he would be an enormous upgrade over what they have in the coming years. And, if you're not so sure how far this Diamondbacks team is maybe going to go this year, trading for a guy like Skubal, I mean, he's helping your rotation for 3 more seasons after this one. So you're checking some boxes, not only for this season, but for the years to come. On the con side, Skubal, his track record is sort of that of kind of a middling starting pitcher. His career ERA is 4.13. So he's certainly not an ace caliber pitcher necessarily, although that's kind of what he's looked like this year when he's pitched. He seems to be taking
that
some
doesn't
steps
worry
forward.
you, though, considering the track record of pitchers who have come here and then just not been good?
Yeah, I mean, it's a reasonable concern, but over the last 2 seasons, like last year, Skubal was really good as well. He has a 3.54 ERA in 25 starts dating back to the start of last season. And he has a 2.75 FIP. So his peripheral numbers are even better than the rest. So yeah, if you're looking for a guy who's maybe a little bit under the radar, maybe the asking price isn't so high as it would be for a player that had more name credibility, this could make a lot of sense for the Diamondbacks.
Chris Payne said, Gallen is gone after 2025. Marte in his prime. Why would this team not be all in on this year and the next 2? None of our prospects should be untouchable. And I agree with that to a certain extent, right? Like the prospects idea of them being untouchable is still an unproven thing. I think that you never know what you're going to have out of a prospect versus what you're going to have out of a major league ball player. And if you can get a major league talent that can help you win now in the short term for the next couple of years, that's definitely a focus, Chris. But I was meaning more of the number of trade targets that we've had that are essentially rentals until the end of this year. That's more my concern, is the Diamondbacks mindset changing to that point, so much so that they would sacrifice a lot of the future for somebody that would just be here for the next 2-3 months, right? That's more of what a controllable player is that I'm looking for. At least those 2 years is what I would like out of somebody the Diamondbacks trade for. And you actually have a trade that I hate that you're going to throw up there.
Let's do it. Let's go there.
I hate this so much.
Here's our trade idea of what it would take to bring Skubal to Arizona.
Yucky.
Diamondbacks would be trading right-handed pitcher Brandon Pfaadt, outfielder Alec Thomas, and left-handed pitcher Yu-Min Lin.
Do you want to throw my dog in there while you're at it, just so I can be especially heartbroken with how much you're trying to offer to them for one single player?
That might move the needle, Derek. If that's what it took, then maybe we have to do what we have to do. No, I think Gambo reported a few days ago, or at least said on his show in passing, that the Tigers were intrigued by Alec Thomas. I don't know. That was more speculation or a report exactly, sure. But there is at least some degree of interest there. The Tigers, frankly, are just kind of a mess as an organization right now. I think Michael said it earlier that Skubal might not really be available from their perspective, but he probably should be if he's not, because this Tigers team is not really trending in the right direction, and some of the young pieces that they haven't really panned out. And if you're the Tigers right now, you probably have to look at a guy like Skubal as an asset that you could use to solve a lot of problems moving forward. The Tigers are not close in the next couple of years. So I guess playing in the AL Central is a benefit to them. They don't have to be as good as some other teams, but they probably should look at dealing Skubal. And if the Diamondbacks were to try to trade for him, it would cost a lot. That's just the price of, a starting pitcher who's pretty good and trending upward and still young and under control for 3 more seasons after this one.